Welcome back to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Miller, and we are here in the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We cover a wide range of topics on this show, including giving updates on stories that have been recurring. That's what this one is. Something over the last couple of weeks that we've noticed, both in Benton County at first and now in Marion County. A bat has been found with rabies, two different instances of that. So we want to find out what we should know and what everyone should know, really, when it comes to bats in the state of Oregon. Rabies cases, is this common? Is this something we should be watching out for? How do we keep our pets safe? All of those things. To do so, though, to talk about this, we have Dr. DeBess from the state of Oregon who's joining us right now. And Doctor, always good to have you here on the show to join us and to be a part of this. And I think, to start off, could you just let everybody know, in case they don't know, your role there with the state, and then we'll talk about these bats.
It's Emilio DeBess. I am the state public health veterinarian for Oregon, so I oversee anything that is transmitted from animals to humans, and rabies is one of those.
Rabies is one of those things, and how often do we see cases of rabies in the state of Oregon?
Yeah, so on our website, we have maps. We see rabies every year in Oregon, and we track the number of animals and the type of animals that test positive for rabies every year. So far this year, we've had 12 bats positive for rabies. So a pretty significant number of cases, but so we're tracking them and making sure that people and their pets are protected against rabies.
So 12 cases of bats with rabies for this year, and that you said that's a significant amount compared to normal years?
Yeah, we usually see somewhere between 6 and maybe 14 cases a year. So it's 12 cases. We're expecting obviously a few more since we're only halfway through the year, but we'll see what the numbers look like at the end of the year.
Is this significant in any way as far as a bigger outbreak of rabies or anything like that?
Now, rabies is present in the bat population, so we know that historically that has been something that we are concerned about, which is why we put out information about making sure that people do not handle bats because they can carry rabies. And in this case, at least in 2026, we've seen 12 bats positive that have tested positive for rabies.
When it comes to these bats and these positive cases that you've found, how is it that these were discovered? Were these human and bat interactions that took place, or intentionally going out and looking for bats?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's a kind of a mixture of animals being in contact with bats, some humans as well. The last few cases have been that we've had human interactions with bats, and therefore people have to be vaccinated for rabies. And the same thing applies to pets. We recommend pets to be vaccinated for rabies, but if they are exposed to a bat, that they should be revaccinated as well.
Okay, so if there is kind of that interaction between a bat and a pet, even if they are vaccinated, to get revaccinated, just to clarify that.
Yeah, we usually revaccinate them just to boost their protection against rabies.
What's important for the general public to know when it comes to bats, I guess specifically, and how they can identify a bat that has rabies and how to interact with that?
Yeah, so first and foremost is do not handle bats, number one, because we know that they do carry rabies historically. Number two is that if you find them, especially during the daytime, flying around and behaving not quite as they should, meaning being on the ground or flying around humans, then that's a good indication that they're sick. May not necessarily be with rabies, but they're sick, and potentially rabies is something that we need to be concerned about. So, minimizing that contact with bats is key to protect both humans and animals.
So if you encounter a bat that is acting strangely, whether that's flying around humans or on the ground, or as you mentioned, what are the first things that you should do to keep yourself and your pets safe, but also to help report to you?
Yeah, so it's really key to make sure that if you notice an animal on the ground on your property, is to either put a bucket or something right on top of it and prevent your pets from getting in contact with those. And then obviously you can contact, there's a lot of the Bird Alliance, there's other facilities and the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife that you can get information as to what to do moving forward.
What is the way that bats can transmit rabies to humans or pets? Does it have to be a bite, or are there other ways that that could happen?
Yeah, that's a great question because we consider it to be any physical contact with a bat an exposure to rabies. If so, in a case in which a bat basically touches an individual, we're concerned about the potential for transmission, and in that case, either we test the bat for rabies. Or if the bat's not available, we usually ask people to get rabies prophylaxis.
And what is that process like for the rabies vaccination?
Yeah, the rabies prophylaxis is it's has somewhat of has a schedule. So the first time that you go into the emergency room, you'll get immune globulin, which is basically a quick protection against rabies. Then you'll get the first vaccine, and then there'll be a series of vaccines at day 3, day 7, and day 14. So a total of 4 vaccines and an injection of that immune globulin, which is that quick protection.
Is the rabies vaccine particularly painful, or is that kind of just an urban myth?
It is an urban myth. I think in the past they used to be given in the stomach, and on the it was just a lot of vaccines, and that has obviously changed over the years. Is uh, for vaccines, vaccines when you get a vaccine, it may hurt just a little bit, but nothing really significant.
Is there anything else important that there, or general guidelines that the public should know as we go forward, since we've had 12 cases so far and we're anticipating more throughout the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think number one is to remind our citizens, our population, that bats do carry rabies, that do not handle them, that keep your pets vaccinated for rabies because they will be protected as well as you will be protected if you were exposed. So key points are just protection, 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 and really try to stay away from bats, especially during the daytime.
Are there any other animals, since we are talking about rabies in general, are there any other animals that we should be concerned about?
Yeah, so in the past, we've had foxes in southern Oregon test positive for rabies. We've had a coyote positive for rabies. We've had skunk positive for rabies in the Wallowas. All mammals can get rabies. It's not just related to bats, it's all mammals. But we see foxes and bats as being kind of the top two animals that we're concerned about. But we've seen coyotes, and we've seen other animals as well.
So just be aware if an animal is acting strangely.
Correct.
All right. Well, Doctor, thank you very much for joining us. And as always, for getting this information out there for everybody so we're aware of what's going on and just what to do if somebody should encounter this kind of situation. And bottom line, stay away from the bats. So it sounds like
Stay
leave them
away.
alone.
Leave them alone.
Yeah. All right. Thanks very much, Doctor.
Thank you. Take care.
And for everybody watching again, this is Fox 12 Now. We're live here out of the newsroom. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We've got more coming up, including the newest episode of Beyond the Broadcast. So that's on the way. If there's breaking news, we'll have that for you as well. So a lot here. And we'll talk to you more right after this here on Fox 12 Now.